Most souls arrive believing their lives were prose, a sequence of events, one after another. They are often surprised to discover it was poetry all along, written in the spaces between heartbeats. Your life, Elara, smells of vellum and quiet rebellions. You were a keeper of tales. Let us now read the one you wrote. Elara, guardian of the printed word, weaver of silences, your story is open before me. Come, let us turn the pages.
My story? Lord, my life was a catalog of other people's stories. I was merely the custodian, a whisper in the stacks. I did nothing of note.
Did you not? Let us begin with The Chapter of the Blue Prince, a rare children's book, the one with the tragic ending.
The little prince, he lost everything and then faded into the sea foam. The ending was unjust. A story shouldn't break a child's heart that way. So I found an illustrator. I had a new last page printed, one with a little boat and a star to guide him home. I replaced the page in the library's copy. I altered the truth.
You changed a story that was already written, an act of rebellion against the established text. But let us look at another tale, the boy named Daniel, who had lost his older brother.
I remember him. He was drowning in a sea of well-meaning advice. His parents wanted him to read books about grief. Instead, I gave him the Chronicles of the Shadow Walker, a fantasy about a hero who journeys to the underworld not to bring his love back, but just to say a final goodbye.
That story gave him a map for his grief. It gave him permission to mourn. Daniel grew up to become a child psychologist, and he used that very story to heal hundreds of broken little hearts. You did not just lend a book, Elara. You planted a forest of healing. But then there is the matter of your quiet argument with me. The nights you sat in your chair, surrounded by tales of war, famine, and loss, and you accused me of being a careless author, of writing a universe filled with too much pain.
I could not reconcile the stories. A world of such beauty and such cruelty. I saw you as the author, yes, but I could not always love the story you wrote. I confess, my faith wavered.
You believe wavering faith is a sin. I see it as one of the most honest forms of prayer. It is a soul wrestling with the text, searching for a deeper meaning. Now, let us speak of the night of the blizzard, when you disobeyed a direct order.
The city shut down, but Mr. Abernathy, he was homeless. The library was the only place he had. The world saw a rule breaker. I saw a man who would have frozen to death. I kept the doors unlocked. We shared my thermos of tea and read old newspapers until dawn.
You changed a story to mend a prince's heart. You offered a new story to mend a boy's grief. You argued with the author of all stories. You defied the rules for a story that had almost ended. Why, Elara? Why this profound, desperate need to protect the stories, to mend their broken endings? It was because of your own lost story, was it not?
the one you could never read aloud? The little boy, your son, whose final page was written far too soon.
Joshua, my Joshua.
You spent your life surrounded by every story imaginable, searching for a narrative that could hold the weight of your own grief. You thought you were just a custodian of books, but you were so much more. You were a librarian of souls, mending the torn pages of every heart you touched. And in so doing, in your quiet, dusty library, you took your own heartbreaking tragedy and wrote one of the most beautiful poems of grace I have ever read. Elara's life reminds us that every story matters, especially the quiet ones. It also reminds us that a story only truly comes alive when it finds a reader. The Bible tells us in the Gospel of John, "In the beginning was the Word." It shows us that stories are sacred, that they have the power to create and to heal. This tale has now been told. You have received it freely. If it found a home in your heart, help it find its way to another. By clicking like, you are telling the world that this story is worth reading. By subscribing, you are opening a new chapter with us, ensuring these tales continue to be heard. Every story needs a reader. Thank you for being one of ours.